Welcome, Future Shapers! You've just tuned in to the nexus of inspiring leaders who share their successes and their failures. Insights that will motivate, educate, and illuminate your path to a very bright future. Welcome to Shaping the Future podcast. Here's your host, Greg Kell.
Good afternoon. This is Greg Kell, host of Shaping the Future podcast, episode 3. Today, we'll be interviewing Ron Drake, the president of Tax and Bookkeeping Solutions in San Bernardino, California. Ron, tell us a little bit about your background.
Good morning, Greg. My name is Ron Drake, and I've been in the tax professional business since 1982. Right, currently, that's quite a few years. That's 34 years. And I've always worked with and for small business and individuals, corporate, partnership, sole proprietors in their business or personal tax situation, and been a problem solver in those areas.
Excellent. You've been around the block a few times.
A few blocks I have been. Thank you, Greg.
Your industry is changing a great deal right now. Ron, what are you most passionate about today?
You know, Greg, I think the problem with the tax professional, if we're just addressing that area, my business is a little broader than that, but not much. But the focus is tax. You have two types of tax preparation. You have the mill, which just get in, get out, answer the questions, see you later, get your money. Then you have the truly concerned accountant that wants the taxpayer to pay the least amount of tax legally able to pay. And how to do that depends on each individual. I am passionate about finding the keys to that individual, that person's business and or lifestyle, and how we can take advantage of that for taxes to pay the least amount.
It sounds like you're really passionate about the people and the impact you can have on their future.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, yes, taxes are about dollars and cents. But if we can save $500, $300, that's $300 in my client's pocket that they can spend on birthday gifts, friends, frankly, go to dinner another time, or they can give it over to the government. I would rather have that in my client's pocket for them to have the option.
Excellent, Ron. As a president and CEO of an established business, you've seen a lot of the challenges, the ups and downs that have gone through life. What would you share with the future shapers listening today a short story about the worst experience you've had on your entrepreneurial career?
Oh, my goodness, Greg. A number of years ago, a client calls me and says, Ron, it's near the end of the year. We're going to take a small amount out of our 401k. How much are our taxes? And I said, well, if it's a small amount, it shouldn't be very much. So, I would say if you 15, 20% federal and 5% state, we are in the state of California. Mm-hmm. So that's a little different than some other states, and moved on with my life. They come in February and we do their tax return. A small amount to them happened to be $400,000.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I will tell you, a small amount to them was not a small amount on the tax return. They jumped through 6 or 8 they just moved up to, almost 50% in taxes, where I had told them, a very small amount, thinking small. The lesson for me learned was I made the assumption small to them and small to me were two different worlds. Okay. That error I have overcome by clearly communicating with my client when questions are asked to define that a little better or a lot better, not to assume something. So that lesson was very expensive for my client and frankly for myself, because I went to bed that night after doing their tax return. They had to pay what they had to pay. Very disappointed in the advice I had given them. They were not unhappy, but we did not clearly communicate.
Right, so communication is key in almost any business interaction.
Right, but especially with the tax professional, it's very important because am I asking you the right question as a professional, and are you hearing the right kind of response? And I've seen this error made with TurboTax specifically, not to downgrade them, but the system asks them, how many business miles did you drive? You type that down. A little later on, Are you employed as a W-2 employee? Yes. How many business miles did you drive? The client answered the same question in the same way, but they doubled the mileage and got caught by IRS later in an exam.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good. So how did this experience of maximizing the clarity of the communication help you to become the success that you are today?
Well, I think, Greg, that doing returns face-to-face helps make things clearer, helps the advantage of this face-to-face interchange. That's why I don't like these mills. Drop off your stuff, I'll get it done. We like the face-to-face meeting so that questions can be asked by our clients and questions can be asked by us, the professionals, so that we can clearly identify areas and options to create greater deductions, legitimate deductions.
Excellent. So it's the relationship that makes the difference.
Absolutely.
Ron, we believe that discipline and focus enhance productivity and ultimately help us to shape our future. Tell me, how does discipline and focus as a habit in your life help produce success for your business now?
Well, I'll be honest, Greg. What I like to do personally is lists of things that need to be done, or if I'm with a client and I think of things that I need to follow up with them, when they tell me things I'm gonna buy a second home in June, I'm gonna tickle on my calendar something that says in July, follow up with Bob, ask him, Bob, did you buy that second home? How did it turn out? And then the questions that are attached to that. So I use my calendar and to-do list to keep me disciplined on the tasks that need to be done or that need to be addressed in the future.
Excellent. Future shapers, calendars, and to-do list help to maximize the value of the communication with the customers. Outstanding. Tell me, look all the way back in the future when you first started this business just a few years ago. Tell me, Ron, remember how you felt. What were you feeling? And what maybe was holding you back from taking that leap to becoming a business owner?
Well, frankly, Greg, I was working for a very large international corporation, and I was their #1 sales rep in the nation. Okay, and as a result of a little bit of conflict with a manager, going to a senior West Coast VP, had a little conflict there, and his response to me was, well, Ron, I kind of need to stand with the management. I handed him the company keys. I said, I'm done. I left San Diego, driving back to my home, called my wife, and I said, honey, I have left a $100,000 a year job, and now we're starting our business. I will tell you, I was scared to death. I was overwhelmed with all the thoughts of compliance and things that needed to be done, but I immediately responded with, who do I need to talk to? Who do I rely on for the advice in the area of tax, legal, and banking that I needed to go to? And I sought those people out for wise counsel.
So I understand you had a direction and you built a team. You recognize it's not all on you.
Yeah, it's not all. And if it's all on me, I'm in trouble.
But Ron, there are many tax and bookkeeping professionals out there. Why are you the success that you are today? Especially, what was your why all the way back then?
Well, Greg, first of all, I enjoy the independence, and that's what I wanted at the end of the day. I no longer wanted a boss. And jumping off, which is what I'll call it, I had to jump off the ledge, but I had to rely on that I had the skills within me, the innate ability to deal with the challenges that were going to come my way. I was committed to working hard, however many hours a day that took. It is not an 8-hour a day job to own a business, okay? And if you think that, go back to being employed, okay? But for me, that jump off and that work hard consistency, and then using my relied on consultants in their specialties, listening to them, and then responding, not reacting to life situations that came up.
Excellent advice. Excellent advice. How did you feel at that time? I know that you said you were a little afraid, but you sounded very determined and focused.
Greg, in order to knock down a wall, sometimes a small hammer is not going to work. You need to get the big wrecking ball. And I was committing to knocking the wall down and being successful. It did take, I will tell you, because I'm a little hard-headed, it took 11 years before I took a vacation. I worked 6 days a week. I worked an incessant number of hours, but I was committed to being successful. And that's what it takes, is a commitment and then listening to those consultants. That was what worked for me.
Sometimes finding the right clients that you're serving bring success to a business. Tell me about your ideal client now.
Well, an ideal client for me is, well, there's a couple. One, somebody interested in starting a business. How do I do it? What do I need to do? What are the steps? The other client would be somebody that's been in business 4, 5, 6 years and just really has not had or felt like they needed advice. And now they want to get to the next level. They want to grow. They want to go. How do I do that without paying all of my profits in taxes? Mm-hmm. Okay, avoiding that tax. That's the ideal for clients for me. How do I legally avoid taxation, making profit, putting it in my pocket, and paying the least amount and the right amount of tax?
There's great value you provide to your clients. I respect that.
Right.
Tell me about, what is the best advice you have ever received that helped to guide you now?
Oh, okay. So, Greg, the best advice, of course, when you have time to think, that's always great. But a lot of times things are on the fly. Life is on the fly, especially as a business owner. I think the best advice is that I need to respond to an issue after listening carefully, not react, not let my emotions overwhelm and react to a problem. I must be calm, use my wits, use the brain that I have, and respond to the situation, not react. Reacting is dangerous.
Excellent. A wise man, Stephen Covey, once said, "Seek first to understand, and then to be understood." It sounds like those words in practice in your life.
I agree. It's all about listening and responding.
Ron, the internet is shaping our business and our professional or social world. There's tons of opportunities there on the internet. Give me one internet resource that you find particularly valuable today.
Well, it's interesting. I have lots of companies that offer me their service for resources for research, tax research. Several sites are very, very good for tax research. Now, you have to be careful. Some of the responses are incorrect, but if you have a good sense of where you're going, and experience gives you that, asking the question on the internet, if you asked the right questions with the right terminology, a lot of times that resource out there will get you to a technical answer. It may or may not apply to you, the individual, and that's where having a professional to interpret when it will or will not work for you. So the internet account combined with that professional that has the resources available.
Excellent. We Future Shapers are readers. I trust you are as well. Give me a book that has really impacted your life.
I kind of go back. There's a lot of great stuff here in, the recent, but I like the old Norman Vincent Peale books that just to talk about character qualities, who we need to be, and men and women of character that truly care about delivering and taking care of our clients. Very important, very important. So I like Norman Vincent Peale.
Excellent. Tell me about some of the biggest challenges that you're facing right now in your practice.
Well, Greg, being 35 years doing what I'm doing, I'm not young. And it seems like life, taxes, business is moving at an exponential pace, faster and faster and more demanding. This is hard on an old guy, I gotta tell you. Hiring and retaining quality people that work for me, it is absolutely awesome to have a team that I work with that I've built and trained to have them. So, my resources and what's this fast-moving society and being there and available for them. Those are the tough things.
So the biggest challenge you face right now is attracting and retaining talent.
Yeah, attracting talent and being responsive to the client's needs.
Excellent. When you look forward, say 5 years in the future, what sort of concerns do you have that are on your landscape?
Being relevant. Taxes today, when I started doing taxes, we knew 3 or 4 years in advance changes were coming. Congress had voted them in, and we could actually do tax planning moving forward. Where it is today, we're looking at Congress making laws in some cases that grow retroactive to the beginning of the year and change what plans you have done. That's a challenge when Congress can't make up their mind for 2017, and we're here at the end of October in 2017, and they might change the laws going back to January, makes it difficult. So being relevant in that situation is very, very difficult, but it can be done.
I hear a little frustration in your voice.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
How do you overcome these challenges that are outside of your control?
Well, I can tell you that truly caring, listening, and a desire among not only myself but my staff to deliver the best results on their taxes and in their life situations, whether it's a marriage of their children, a death in the family, how is that going to affect their tax situation? Being responsive to those needs and being available to them is what I would be looking for in a great accountant. And I believe that Tabs delivers that to our clients.
Excellent. I understand that you are being cast a little bit to and fro by the changes that are going on in the tax and regulatory world, the legislative world that's outside of your control. But I also understand that you have a habit of dealing directly with people, with relationships, with listening, and ultimately creating high-value solutions for them. My question is, understanding that things are changing for you professionally and personally, from a big picture, our nation is changing as well. We think it's at a tipping point. In your opinion, Ron, what is America to you?
America is still a land of opportunity. It is amazing to me that some young person can come up with a brilliant idea, and on the internet, they're literally overnight millionaire or multimillionaire. That is absolutely fantastic. It is frustrating to me that we have these young people called millennials that think it's going to walk in their front door at home. It's going to find them. Hard work, okay? Opportunity is theirs for those who seek it. Mm-hmm. To seek it means you must get out there and put feet. You must walk. You must write letters. You have to campaign for what you want. I do believe that this shaping of America, that we as, I'm going to use the word silent majority, and whether you're vocal or not, but we as individuals need to express our opinion through the voting booth as to how we vote, and not vote on a candidate on a one issue vote, but who are they? Who, and where do they come from, and where are they going? And are they going to represent me, or are they going to represent their own agendas just to get reelected again? I do believe that we have the ability in today's society to use our computers to express to our representatives, our duly elected representatives, if they will listen to us. If they don't listen to us, we need to get someone else in their place. That's the tipping point. Are we willing as individuals to take the steps to vocalize our opinions to those representatives and take action on those? Whether we're a business person, a trash collector, a worker, a McDonald's employees, or any other fast food industry, or just a clerical person in an office. And I don't mean just, but those are the people that make America work. But we need to get out there and be more involved in our society, in our communities.
Excellent. Involvement and taking action. Tell me, Ron, what big advice can you share with the Futures Shapers audience today?
I would say that listening to those around me, listening to those that have a positive outlook on life, and then moving forward, making my plans in a responsive way, not a reactive way, to how I grow. I do think, being in the accounting community, numbers don't lie, but the interpretation of those numbers, you need consultants, tax professionals, bookkeeping, taxes professionals to help you interpret. because often when we interpret our own numbers, we get skewed with emotion and want something that's not there. And we need to rely on that.
Outstanding. Ron, we have listened, Future Shapers, to Ron Drake, the president of Tax and Bookkeeping Solutions. Ron, tell the audience how they should contact you and why they should contact you.
Well, Greg, here's what I'll do for your future shapers and the community that may be listening to you. That if they want to call the office and speak to the staff, okay, I'm going to make an offer of 1 hour of my time in my office with me to review their last year's tax return, to let them come sit with me about how do I start a business. I will give them that hour. Okay, it'll be billed, but then it'll be billed back no charge as a Future Shapers listener. They can contact me at 909-890-2434. That's 890-2434. They can also reach me on the internet. They can do that at Ron, R-O-N, at tabs-inc.com, not K, like a tattoo parlor. I'm a tax professional, tabs-inc.com. I'll do my best to respond to every one of those and take them. Now, that offer is only good through the end of the year, December 31st. After that, I will be busy doing taxes, but I will make that available.
Well, thank you, Future Shapers, for joining us today. We've heard a great deal of wisdom from Ron Drake. Reach out to him. Let's make it happen as together we are shaping our nations, our communities, and our personal future. Let's make it happen, guys.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you for joining this episode of Shaping the Future podcast. We leave you, Future Shapers, with this challenge. Act boldly today to shape your future, because if you don't, it will absolutely be shaped for you.